Scheiße. Ja, ganze Radlager, Bremsscheibe, komplett alles rausgerissen.
Well, that doesn't look good. How did it come to this point? Let's rewind back to the beginning. After a long summer break, all GT Open teams are finally back, this time at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. But the bitter taste from the last race in Castellet still lingers. Dexter and Yannick missed out on a well-deserved first place due to a controversial decision by race control. So how did CBRX's appeal actually turn out?
Regarding the last race in Pull Car, race 2, there's no change in the decision of the race control in the end. At least we got the opportunity this time to have a discussion and to address our concerns and see their perspective and their reasoning behind it, and vice versa. I would say there was a common sense in the end. It doesn't change the outcome, unfortunately. We all agreed it was not fair. It was not the right outcome, but in the end they also have to follow certain protocols in decision making. So I get that. I think the most important part was to have the discussion so that we can get over it and move on.
But now it gets serious. The first race is about to begin. Dexter Müller delivered a solid performance in qualifying, yet with a bit of bad luck, he missed out on a spot in the front rows. Let's see how he can handle himself in this tightly packed field.
The hurry as they put pedal to the metal. Alex, go, 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 we're away in stereo.
I think this was pretty much the best start that I ever had. I was in quite a good position, I think, to start with. There was a lot of sort of stop and go just before the green, and I happened to see the green and I got quite a good run. And so down the home straight, I managed to catch 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we were 4 wide going into that one, and I thought to try and cut the inside corner. And then to my surprise, there was a Porsche that was already sort of spun around. I think you had the same idea. And obviously the impact was quite hard because the camera blacks out. But it felt like I just had a bit of a puncture.
Think I've got a puncture? Copy, copy, box, 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 box. Voorrijden voor 54.
Yannick said I should get back to the pit, so I thought I'd try and do that. And little did I know that I was actually just driving on 3 wheels up until the second corner. I see that I was driving under 40 kilometers an hour. Yeah, I tried to push the brake pedal, and then I realized it just basically went straight down to the bottom with no pressure. Another moment of panic, but luckily it was an uphill. When I got out of the car, I thought, oh, it looks a bit low. You know, I live quite low to the ground. And then there was a reason for that, because, well, my tire stayed at corner 1, together with my brake.
Sorry about that. The Porsche spun directly in front of me and I hit him. Couldn't avoid him. Yeah, coffee, coffee, mate. No worries. No worries. You're okay though, yeah? Yeah, everything's fine from my side. Everything's fine.
And it was quite interesting, because I had to go through the whole track in the tow truck, and I had to stop at every Marshall post to try and find the rest of the car.
That was definitely not part of the plan. Luckily, everyone walked away unharmed. Now it's time for an all-nighter in the SPS garage. Will the crew manage to bring the car back into shape for tomorrow?
For me, it's very impressive every time I see something like this, because when you see the car when it's coming back, there's quite a bit of damage, and then they strip it down, and it just looks like a lot of work. And it is, for sure. And for me, it's always impressive that next day you jump in the car and everything is perfect again. So yeah, big credits to the guys for their passion and the work they put in.
A new day, a fresh chance. After a long night in the garage, the car is ready again. The drivers line up on the grid. The atmosphere is tense, and all eyes are on the start of race 2 here at the Red Bull Ring.
Here we go for the second time this weekend at the Red Bull Ring. Lovely start from Giacomo Altoe. Absolutely blitzed it off the line, and he leads going into the first corner. D. McDonald challenge.
The initial getaway was quite good, actually, I think. But then it's a bit weird. I just didn't find really the one gap. It was a bit here, a bit there. I didn't get the best run out of the first corner particularly. Then just lost position after position, so yeah, was not ideal. Also up the hill into turn 3, I got sandwiched by 2 AMGs, funny enough. And I just had a strange feeling, like they were both coming at me and I wasn't sure if they saw each other. So I thought this is one of these situations that usually can go really badly wrong. And of course, in that moment, I had in mind what happened yesterday. So yeah, I just didn't want to risk it, really. Maybe in hindsight, I should have been a bit more aggressive. But, you know, for me, in that point, honestly, it was just important to finish the race today. And yeah, not the best of opening laps, but sometimes it goes like that.
This is Yannick coming into corner 3. He's got a very bright yellow Ferrari competing car on the inside of him. And yeah, coming up to, you know, quite a tight corner. I think Yannick, to try and avoid a contact, runs a little bit wide, rides the sausage, as the German engineers like to ride it. Oh, and unfortunately, somebody else is also taking advantage of that as well. Very, very tricky to outrun these mid-engine cars coming into corner 4, where, yeah, you don't want to overstress the car going in, which makes the driving a bit annoying. You don't want to overstress it going in because you tend to get a lot of understeer and a lot of wash. And so just after that, yeah, Yannick has managed to make a place back because taking the proper line. And so yeah, he's dealt with the competing car.
So this is ducks in the car then. I didn't do the job I was supposed to, which means overtake some guys and drive away. So that means, of course, once the whole thing flips at the pit stop, he's now got all the pros in his neck as well. Sorry about that. As I said, it was not our day. And when it's going bad, it's going worse. So yeah, he has now to handle all the pros that do the undercut on the other side of the strategy. Some even had new tires, from what I heard, because they saved a set in quali. So yeah, really no chance. Definitely not on that day. And you know, no blame on having to let them go. A fucked up race at this point.
Yeah, we're just struggling with the car. And it culminated basically in the penultimate corner. I was a bit too overzealous and yeah, got a bit of a spin. Somehow luckily managed to catch it. So lost a few more positions and then went for it again. Now my tires are a little bit agitated, overheated. So yeah, so you got to spend the next 2 laps sort of dilly-daddling around until until the car gets sort of back in the right performance area. But thank you. It was really interesting to see that again.
The second race didn't go much better either. Yannick struggled to hold his ground, while Dexter did his best to defend, but it was far from easy. This was a weekend to forget. Bad luck, a car not ideally suited for this track, and one of the strongest fields of the season made life difficult for the 2 Swiss drivers.
The part that's putting everybody a bit down is that on the whole BOP side, it really seems like one of these weekends where, you know, it's very limited what you can achieve in general. In every GT3 race series, you have a so-called BOP, balance of performance, which basically, you know, makes sure that all the different manufacturers, the cars, are on the same performance level, so that you have fair competition. Here in GT Open, they just have a baseline and then they freeze it for the weekend. You know, I think over the season, I would say it's probably quite balanced, but you do get race weekends where you're in a better position and race weekends where you're in a, you know, in a worse position. It makes it really tough if you go into a weekend, obviously, where you know you're not going to be really strong. That's basically the reason behind why it's quite tough this time around.
The Red Bull Ring has not been kind to me. We struggled a lot. A very good learning experience, so I'm not unhappy about that. Also, kind of okay that we've performed quite well up until now, and we also have to have our moments where we don't perform so well. But yeah, it was a proper hustle this weekend. Not so much fun. Very short first day, very short Saturday, and a very intense Sunday race. I don't think it's on the calendar for next year, and yeah, if we're sitting here praying for rain all the time, I think that, yeah, maybe it's not the track for us, or for our car, for the setup, for the whole thing. But we did it now, and I'm happy it's over, and now I can get absolutely smashed at the bar. So, if there's a bar open in Spielberg, Austria.